The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
And welcome to another episode of Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. Today's guest hails from Woodbridge, Virginia, but resides in Madison, Wisconsin, and began training in 2018 at the Thumper's Den Wrestling Academy. He's worked for such promotions as Insane Championship Wrestling, Zawa, Bruce City Wrestling, Legacy Pro Wrestling, Chicago Style Wrestling, River City Championship Wrestling, participated in the Black Wrestlers Matters 2, and I could go on. He's held the Zawa Fireweight Championship, the BCW Heritage Championship, as well as the ICW Tag Team Championships with Zach Hendricks as Country Air. Recently, Pro Wrestling Illustrated ranked him number 465 on the annual Top 500 Wrestlers in the World list. Shared the ring with the likes of Jackal Stevens, Austin Fouts, Tyler Jones, Sean Priest, Bucky Collins, Joey Avalon, and I could go on. I won't. So let's welcome today's guest, someone who resides in my second favorite city in the entire world, the master of 36 chambers, the GOAT, Doc Simmons. Hey, Doc, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. That's a great highlight video.
Yeah, it's all you. There's nothing great about it on my end. It was all you that made it look good. It's just occurred to me. Do people always say to you, "What's up, Doc"?
Not as much as I would like. Actually.
Okay.
It's like on my gear all the time.
Yeah, that almost came out of my mouth
that way, but not as much.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So a little geography here. Did you grow up in Virginia?
Yes. Born in New York.
Okay.
Lived there for first 9 years of my life. Then moved to Virginia. And
are you in Madison now?
Yep. Now I'm in Wisconsin.
That's my second favorite city in the world. And I know that sounds so weird. Chicago's the first, but what was I going to say was I went to college there. So I was there from 94 to 99, straight. And then I've gone back here and then. But do you live off campus?
Yeah. I live Fitchburg area. So.
Oh, okay. So how long have you been there?
Since 2014.
Oh, okay. So you've been there for a while. All right. We'll get to you getting out to the Midwest in a bit. So you were born in New York. What do you have memories of that?
Oh yeah.
You were there for the first 10 years, you said?
Yeah. Love New York. Lots of memories.
What was going on in New York? Why was your family there? Or are they just always,
Oh, yep. Parents are from the Bronx. So they were there most of their life. My mom moved to North Carolina for a bit when she was younger, and then came back after she graduated and all that, and moved back to New York. Her and my dad were childhood friends.
Oh, cool. Oh, I'm sure that's a real good story. So I imagine you had a bunch of friends, and then you moved to Virginia?
Yep. Bunch of friends, and then one day they were like, "We're done. We've had enough of New York. We're moving to Virginia."
Was it like something gradual they've been talking about, or like they presented to you, hey, we're leaving?
Um, I'm sure it wasn't gradual for them,
Uh-huh.
but it was sudden for me.
Yeah. So why'd you guys end up going to Virginia?
So my mom's mother and her family lived in Virginia. So
Okay.
when they were just trying to get out of the city, that was just an easy place to move to.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. And was that like did you enjoy your childhood there in Virginia?
Oh yeah, love Virginia, love Virginia. That's the home. I still say when they announce me,
Uh-huh.
from Woodbridge, Virginia. So
Okay, yeah. Did you have siblings?
yes, one brother, one sister.
And where did you fall in ages?
I'm the oldest.
Oh, okay. Did you get in trouble more than the other two?
Probably not.
Oh,
My
really?
my sister was a little troublemaker. So she probably got in the most trouble out of all of us.
Oh, it makes you look good at the same time.
Yeah, I was more had to be the responsible older brother. So,
Yeah. So what was your personality like as a kid?
uh, I probably the same now. Pretty
Uh,
quiet until you get to know me.
sure.
But after that, I can get pretty loud. I've been told.
Did you have like a big circle of friends?
I would say probably not. I
Uh,
don't know. It's weird because, like with social media being a thing now,
sure.
I probably have had like the same set of friends since like elementary school. So I mean, I would say it's a large group of friends, but tight knit.
Yeah, but when you've known someone that long, it becomes like very like, valuable.
Yeah,
I've known someone 20 years already. We've been friends.
yeah.
So
They
even
have
if it's
way too
just
many secrets about me. We can't
yeah,
stop being friends
totally.
right now.
We'll have to silence those people if we decide to
Yeah.
run for office. That's another episode. Um, so like, were you athletic at all back
Yep.
then?
Started doing karate basically as soon as I could walk. My dad
Oh,
was a kickboxer,
uh-huh.
and started training me. Yeah, basically as soon as I could walk.
Really?
Yeah. So did karate for a while.
Uh-huh.
Was a boxer for years. When
Uh-huh.
we moved to Virginia, I discovered like amateur wrestling, so I wrestled. Got to high school. One of my best friends played lacrosse and needed people on the team, so he asked all of us. So we just all
Yeah.
joined our high school lacrosse team. So
Wow.
pretty active in sports growing
So
up.
how long did you uh, do karate for or train?
I did like straight karate probably from like 2 to 9.
Oh my God.
Then started
Did you get
boxing.
are you a black belt?
Yep.
Okay. Do you feel nervous ever walking down the street at like, when the sun's down?
I mean, like
Like
I'm
you
one
can handle
person.
yourself?
I think it's one of those your mind plays tricks on you. I'm sure I
Yeah.
would be fine in most situations, but you just have those calling of the abyss moments where you think the worst possible thing could happen. So, there are still those moments, but for the most part, I don't worry about it.
When you were a kid, I'm sorry to ask this. When you were a kid, did you ever daydream about using martial arts on
Oh yeah,
somebody? Like
all the time, all the
situations where
time. Big Ninja Turtle fan, big Power
uh-huh.
Ranger fan, big Kung Fu movie fan. So
Yeah.
all the time.
Okay. So do you remember the first time you saw wrestling?
I have like a loose memory.
Uh-huh.
So actually, one of my cousins got me into wrestling when we were younger.
Okay.
So I know I'm pretty sure it was WCW. Like when I look back on the memory,
Yeah.
pretty sure that's what he was watching. Just because I remember all the like blue of
Sure.
WCW. I more so remember the ring. I don't remember a lot about it.
Yeah.
But
Had
that
you
was
heard
probably
of wrestling before?
only through him.
Uh-huh.
Like my cousin was the one who got me into it. So before it, like him and his grandmother would always watch together, and occasionally
Oh.
when I'm over there, I'd watch with them, and so that was how I got into wrestling.
When did it become a staple for you? Like, was there a point where you're watching every Monday or whenever?
Yeah. Probably this will age me a little bit, but sometime after WrestleMania 14.
Oh, okay.
So the Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's like my first full like bright
You remember seeing
memory
it?
of wrestling. So sometime after that is when I started
Did you
watching
ever,
more consistently.
did you ever go to shows, live
Uh,
shows?
not not many WWE shows when I was younger.
Hmm.
I did go to like because I was living in New York, so when
Yeah.
WWE New York was a thing, I know I did go there
Oh, really?
a couple times. Yeah, which was fun. I did go to a couple indie shows, but as young as I was, I didn't really have an understanding of what indie wrestling was.
Yeah. So
So,
as you got like into your high school years, did you have a better understanding of indie wrestling, or
yep.
still that wasn't?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. No,
okay.
once I got into high school and in middle school and college, I definitely had a better understanding and was more into it for myself.
Oh, okay. And in high school, did your parents have an idea of what they wanted you to do after high school?
Not really.
Uh-huh.
My mom just wanted me to be happy, and my dad,
Uh-huh.
whatever I wanted to do, he just wanted me to work hard at it.
Okay. Those are, okay, saying those are two big life lessons
Yeah,
that maybe you wouldn't learn like in college or something.
yeah.
Like,
That was all they wanted for me to be happy, and whatever it is, just work hard at it.
okay, so do we remember a point where you're sitting somewhere and you say to yourself, I'm gonna go find a trainer. I'm gonna train to become a pro wrestler. Is there a
Uh,
moment that happens?
Yeah, there are a couple. So being the greatest heavyweight of all time,
Yeah.
size is a thing. So for a
Uh-huh.
while, I wasn't sure I could actually become a wrestler.
Okay.
So my thoughts a lot of times when I was younger was to get on more of the creative side and
Sure.
be a backstage talent.
Uh-huh.
But then after moving to Madison, didn't have a lot of friends, so I'm just scouring the internet, just looking up wrestling videos.
Uh-huh.
When I was younger, I didn't, like I said, didn't really have a sense of what the indies were. I knew New Japan and AAA existed, but I had no
Mm-hmm.
idea of how to watch those.
Uh-huh.
So now that I'm older and YouTube is a huge thing, it was a lot easier for me to just type in wrestling and just watch like
Yeah.
all this stuff from around the world. And I can remember specifically I'm looking through like some WWE recaps, and there's always this suggested video, top 90 moves of Ricochet. That's just it's always suggested for you.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm like, all right, what is this?
Uh-huh.
Click on it, and I'm like, this is amazing. What is
Yeah.
this wrestling? And that's how I get into people like ACH and Willie Mack, and just PWG and ROH in general. That
Yeah.
was my avenue into that.
Mm-hmm.
And through that, I discovered Lucha Underground, which when Lucha Underground was running, that was like the most amazing thing to
Yeah,
me.
it
Like,
was.
the style of storytelling was something I could never imagine. The styles of wrestling they had brought in were things I had never seen before, and specifically like intergender matches and how they were presented on that show. Showed a lot of varying body sizes. So once I discovered, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, there's wrestling can be whatever you want it to be. That was the moment when I said, let me find a trainer.
So, what brought you to Madison?
Um,
That's a pretty big
yeah,
move.
yeah. So really just ready to get out of Virginia.
Oh,
Nothing.
okay.
Yep, nope. Just decided I was ready for a change.
Uh-huh.
One of my friends was moving out here and got a job as a manager at a gym.
Okay.
Asked me, I wasn't really doing anything. It was just like,
Yeah.
hey, are you interested in just moving?
Okay, so you ended up in Madison. Do you like it there?
Oh yeah, I love it here. Love it here.
And have you like made friends since
Yep,
coming?
I've made for instance there. The usual work, as you get older, it's definitely harder to just make friends.
Yeah,
But
totally.
slowly but
You
surely,
don't live in a
I've got
dorm.
a good crew around me.
Okay, that's good. So you decide you want to wrestle. How did you just go on like the internet and find a
Yep.
trainer?
At
Or
this point, the internet was my best friend for wrestling.
uh-huh.
Like I'm soaking up as much as I possibly can. So I just started Googling wrestling schools. There was a
Uh-huh.
time when I was living in Virginia. I
Uh-huh.
thought about it for a little and had Googled wrestling schools before, so it was something I had like started looking at places some years prior, and this was just like the thing that pushed me over the edge. So I really got into, just trying to find a place that would train me for any period of time.
Okay. And you then came to find one, and what?
Yep. So I am trained out of the Thumper's Den in Milwaukee by Frankie DeFalco, Frankie the Thumper DeFalco, and the Beer City Bruiser from Ring of Honor.
Sure.
So that's eventually where I ended up.
So were you making a trip from Madison to Milwaukee?
I still make a trip from Madison to Milwaukee.
How often do you do that?
About twice a week.
Okay, it's like an hour, right?
Hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Not terrible.
Yeah.
Pretty straight shot.
Yeah, it's a straight shot. And being from, I'm from Northern Virginia, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area.
Yeah.
So traffic there is terrible. It takes about an hour to get anywhere. So for me, it was just like, if I was back in Virginia, if I was just going to work, this would be my drive 5 times a week. So
okay.
It's like, but I wouldn't be moving. I'd just be stuck in traffic for an hour and a half.
Sure.
So
totally.
my mentality for it has always been a little different than probably most people.
So at this point, when you found your trainer, what was your physical condition prior to training?
Solid. I moved here to be a personal trainer, so I was working at a gym. So I was in pretty good shape. I just there was the nerves of I've never done this, so I don't know what I'll need physically. So there was that worry, but I'm in pretty good shape.
Had you ever been inside a wrestling ring prior to your first?
Inside of a professional wrestling ring, no. Like I said, when I was younger, I boxed, and the place that I boxed at would hold little local indie shows occasionally.
Oh, okay.
So I've been around a wrestling ring, but no, until I started training, I'd never been in one.
Okay, and then finally, were you able to sleep the night before your first day of training? Or were you nervous going there?
So it was also like a birthday gift to myself. By the time I started, I was like,
oh, okay.
I was like, hey, this is the time. This would be a nice little birthday gift to myself. If I like it, awesome, let's go. If I don't, I can say I gave it a try.
Sure, okay. So you get there, and what's the first thing they have you do?
I think the first thing we did was bumps.
Okay.
I think the first thing we did was bumps. It was either bumps or running the ropes were the first 2 things. Okay,
and how quickly did you pick up on taking a bump?
Because of doing karate for years, and eventually my dad, as he was older, got into Aikido, which is a lot of throws and stuff.
Sure.
And he would need somebody to practice on, so there I am. So I think bumps I caught on very quickly.
Okay.
Running the ropes was the one that took a little bit of time, actually.
Okay, now on this first day, maybe second day, is there anything where you say to yourself, oh, I really need to I really need to improve my cardio, or was there anything that you had to kind of
nothing?
reevaluate?
It was just running the ropes technique. So I will say this for anybody who's thinking about becoming a wrestler. Running the ropes can hurt more than you think it does if you don't hit the ropes right.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to find a way to hit the ropes size wise. So So it's never I didn't have the lung capacity to do it. It's just I'm hurting myself hitting these ropes. We need to figure this out.
Do you get bruised up?
Oh, yep. Oh, yeah. You'll get bruised.
Oh my! And does it hurt at the time, or is it when you get home?
It's definitely at the time I'm just so hyped up on adrenaline. Yes, I can finally become a professional wrestler. That at the time it didn't hurt. But coming home to the lady, and he's checking over my back, and I've got all these welts everywhere.
Oh my God.
It's just from trying to figure out how to hit the ropes.
And did you have to change how you ate at all?
Not specifically for wrestling. It was more of a personal choice.
Okay.
Because I wear trunks to the ring. I'm very exposed.
Yeah.
So I'm self-conscious about it. So I'm more so on making sure I look good physically.
Sure. I'm the opposite. So we balance out perfectly.
Yeah.
So how How long before day one of training and having your first match in front of
So
people?
I started training in like mid-April.
Okay.
And then my first match was, I believe, it was either the like last days of July or the first days of August. I don't
Uh-huh.
remember the exact date. I'm sure I could look it up because it
Yeah.
was at the Wisconsin State Fair is where I made my
Oh, okay,
debut.
cool. And do you look back at that like fondly or like
Not at all. Not
not
at
at
all.
all? Okay, why?
Almost the next day did not, or almost immediately after the match, did not look at it fondly.
Oh, okay. Tell me the reason why.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, it was more, you're so full of nerves and uh, you're trying to figure out what is it I'm going to do. I've only been training 4 months. I don't know. I can't possibly know nearly enough
Yeah.
to wrestle. So, I'm thinking about the match. And I have all these thoughts swirling through my head, and then my music hits, and I realize I haven't thought of an entrance at all.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so there's just that realization of, oh god, these people are about to see me the first time. What am I going to do,
Oh my
say,
god.
or anything? So it was just like having that moment of, you're so focused on, I got my trunks, I got my shoes, I got my elbow pads, DJ's got the music, we've talked over the match, coach is giving me the last, words of confidence I need.
Uh-huh.
Music hits. Oh god, what do I do?
Oh my god. That you
Uh,
think that the last moment.
Yeah, so at the last moment, it was like I have nothing. So I think I do this like weird airplane dance coming out.
Yeah,
I came out to Run DMC. It's tricky
yeah, yeah.
for the first while. So that was an experience that I immediately thought of like after the match. Like the match was
Oh.
mostly a blank looking back on it, but at the time, but I just remember you didn't think about your entrance. You didn't think about your entrance. Nobody's going to take you seriously at this
Yeah.
moment.
Did that throw you off for the entire like evening? Like
Not
or for
really,
the match?
because I knew like, you know what? Let me just get past this part as quickly as
Yeah.
possible, and then once the bell rings, I'm sure everything will be fine.
Have you watched that first match back?
No, I have not. Thankfully, I would
Okay, would
probably hate
you?
it.
Would you have to be paid to watch it?
I would watch it to tear it apart.
Uh-huh.
I can be very critical of myself. I'm a big watching tape guy.
Uh-huh.
Manning and Tom Brady are always big on watching tape, and they're some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah.
So I study matches a lot.
So
So
do you
you wouldn't have
watch
to pay me to watch it, but I just don't have
Yeah.
access to it.
Do you have like IWTV?
Yep.
So like how often are you watching wrestling per
Uh,
day?
just about any moment I'm able to.
Oh wow. That's
So,
amazing.
yep. If I'm at work on my lunch break, I'm queuing up something on IWTV or New Japan World, or my tag partner Zach Hendricks
Yeah.
will shoot matches back and forth between each other that we just find on the internet. I put my girl through a lot of stress. Just come home, first thing I do, turn on the TV,
Yeah.
hop on YouTube, just Google wrestling.
Did you ever say to her, like, I'm working? You know, like
Yeah, and she's supportive, but
uh-huh.
she'll deal with it. But I'm sure there are times when she would rather watch something else, but she says at least understand and is willing to
Okay.
offer her. She's more of a casual fan, so she'll
Okay.
offer, which her critiques are important.
Good.
Things that those are the people that we're trying to bring in.
Yeah.
The hardcore fans are always going to be there, and we love them for that. But you want to bring in those new
Did you
fans.
run stuff by her?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Oh, that's nice to have that.
Yep. We'll watch stuff, and she'll be like, "Well, why did they do that? That didn't make sense." And then that'll give me a time to be like, "All right, well, this is probably why they did this." Okay, well, that still doesn't make sense. Okay,
Oh,
well, what about if it was like this?
that's nice having that kind of naive perspective, seeing things that maybe a
That we
wrestling
just
fan
accept
wouldn't.
as like this is just wrestling. Why do they do it? Because it's
Yeah,
wrestling.
yeah.
But
So,
she gives me a good person to bounce ideas off of.
all right, we're coming back to her actually in a little bit. But when did you feel like comfortable in the ring, or do you still not feel
Yeah, still
comfortable?
don't. It's it's just one of those. Bruiser was very big on teaching us when you step through that curtain, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Like it's that moment. You have to be focused on that moment. So I am definitely still nervous before matches, nervous on the road, going to places. But once the music hits, I have to put all that aside and worry about it later.
Do you get to pick the music?
Yes, I have.
Is
For the
that
most
fun?
part. For the most part, I get to pick the music.
Is that fun? Like, did you have to listen to a bunch of things to decide, like, this will work?
So the first one, my original song was "It's Tricky" by Run DMC, and that one it took me a while to think about. What I come out to now is "I Wish" by Skilo. That was suggested to me, and bounced. The guy who suggested I bounced some because I had thought about it, but I had some concerns, so we bounced those ideas back and forth and came up with that. When I am heel, I have a different song. I don't think it's also just a reference to my character.
Yeah.
Greatest. And then our tag entrance was just like in the moment. A promoter had put us together. It was like, here's your partner, Zach Hendricks. I'm calling you guys Country Air. And I was just like, cool, we'll come out to Country Grammar. And that was the thought process.
Had you known Zach for a while before you started tag teaming with him?
So I started training in April. He's also a Thumper's Den kid. He started training in like the August of that, or August or October. I think it was October.
Okay.
That sounds right. October sounds right. So I think he started training in October of that year. We got thrown together for a match one time in like January, just as a one-off to further a story going on in the company.
Sure.
And then a promoter was there and saw us together and asked us to come out to his show and threw us together as a tag team. Then like a couple months later. So we're training together, it's only from October to January, but you're seeing this guy at least twice a week just at camp. And, early on we were all early in our career. So we're hopping in cars, with vets as much as we possibly can. So I'm still like, seeing them at least 2 times in a week for training, at least once on the weekend, going to shows and helping out, doing setup and stuff like that. So very quickly became close.
Do you have any preference, like to singles or a tag team?
Not really. They both are fun in their own ways.
But is it nice
in their own ways?
Yeah. Is it nice though having a partner? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's nice. I only have to do half the work. It's great.
Totally.
The pay is the same, and I do half the work. There's nothing more I can ask for.
Totally. Have you guys wrestled each other?
We have. It's funny because actually, it came up on Facebook Memories. The last time we wrestled each other, which was like 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so our last singles match was like 2 years ago. We have not, maybe like in camp, just like trying to work through stuff.
Yeah.
We'll throw it together, we'll have a quick match, but for the most part, no, haven't touched each other in like 2 years.
So when you say you guys are with each other twice a week training, is that training in the ring?
Yep. Training in the ring twice a week, and then in the car with each other on the weekends now. So I see him like 4 or 5 times a week.
He's your work wife?
Yep, he's my work wife.
Nice. It's good to have a non-cheating faithful work wife. Is that fun? Like, is part of the fun like being on the road in the car with these guys?
Definitely. And shout outs to him because he I know it's a big part of it that he likes is just getting in the road with your friends, driving the 4 to 9 hours wherever you're going, setting up a ring, putting on a match, tearing down the ring, being tired, driving in shifts back. It's the whole experience.
And then how does this affect your outside relationship? It would not even just with your girlfriend, but like family. Is that difficult?
It can be. It's definitely a lot of calls to family while we're on the road.
Yeah.
Like, checking up on them and letting them know I'm okay, letting them know I'm in a new state or whatever. Relationships or work. they require attention. So she's very supportive. It does, strain it occasionally that I'm not, of course she would rather me be home more often.
Sure.
Of course your family wants you to be around more often. That's not, wrong on her part, but she's supportive and understands. And, she comes to shows too, when I'm in the state of Wisconsin, at least. She'll come check it out. And, she always has on her Doc Simmons shirt or her Country Air jersey. So,
it's good having that support, and you don't have to feel guilty, right? About like, all right, this week I got 2 shows, I'm gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's understanding, and I really appreciate that.
Let me ask you a question. On non-wrestling days, when you get home at the end of the day, who's responsible for putting food on the table?
I cook, she does the dishes.
That's a great. I'd rather cook than do the dishes.
And she rather do the dishes than cook, so it works out great.
Oh, perfect. Has she ever cooked you a meal? And is there
she will. She just rather not. If somebody else wants to cook for her, she's all for it.
Okay. So she knows what she wants. Yeah. Are you gonna ever go back out east and wrestle out there?
Would love to. The furthest that I've made it east so far is West Virginia and Tennessee. So I know there are a couple promotions in Virginia and a couple in DC. So I've been, keeping an eye on them, trying to match up dates. But that's home. I know, if any promoters on the East Coast are listening, and if you run a promotion in DC or Virginia, I promise to sell tickets to that show. So
yeah, seriously. Has your family seen, like your parents, seen you wrestle?
Not live. They've definitely seen videos and clips. Have
they expressed interest in going to see you wrestle live?
They would be willing to. I don't. They were never like huge wrestling fans, but they're supportive.
Okay.
My mom has never liked seeing me in danger, and all I did was combat sports. So she's only seen she's been to maybe 2 of my high school, middle school wrestling matches. Never saw me box. Never went to any of my karate. She loved my lacrosse games. She was fine with that. But even
dangerous too.
Yeah. So with that, for anybody for the maybe one person from Woodbridge, Virginia that watches this, our coach. Our defensive coach, Alan Gladstone, was a reason to come to those shows. He was just very entertaining on the sideline, being angry with us. So she would come and watch him. Yeah, so she would come and watch him. That was the entertainment. I'm fine.
It's come to watch someone go from calm to completely unhinged.
Yeah. So that was a lot of entertainment for people who came to lacrosse games back then.
Do you have any non-wrestling friends in Madison?
Oh, yep. I'm lucky enough that one of my best friends is actually my neighbor. When I first moved here, he also worked at the gym.
Oh, cool. That's right.
Yep. And then my best friend, he moved out of Madison. He's in Lodi now, which isn't too far.
No.
But we still talk every day.
Do they come to your shows?
They've been to a couple.
And is it fun knowing that they're there?
Oh yeah.
Extra?
If I know close friends are coming to a show, it gives me that extra boost to do a little bit more and do maybe some things I wouldn't do normally.
Do you make eye contact with them at all?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be so much fun. What's the best part about being a pro wrestler? I always look at you guys as as not like superheroes like Superman flying around and stuff, but
we're
people
that
a select group of people who do something really well, like a craft. What's the best part for you?
For me, it's the fans. I know that might sound hokey, but
no.
It's true. The fans are what make it. The good and the bad. Are always what makes the day or the show very interesting.
So can you feel if a crowd, if a crowd's really hot, can you feel that in the ring? And, and kind of decide what to do from that?
Oh yeah. You can hear it in the back. There's nothing better than being in the back and hearing how great the crowd is.
Yeah.
Oh man, the crowd is really into everything today. Maybe we can do a little bit more, step it up.
Sure.
If they're giving so much energy to us, we should give it back.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. All right. That's a very good acceptable answer to that question. Do you ever say to yourself, wow, I'm a pro wrestler? Like,
Yeah.
just like when you're by yourself and
Yeah.
I did it.
Nope. Yeah. All the time. Especially a lot lately. Things have been going good career wise.
Uh-huh.
So there's always a realization like, wow, I'm really doing this. I am a wrestler.
So how does one find out? Let's say you, for example, that you're on the PWI list.
Yeah.
Is it like you will go online and find out?
No. So, I'll tell you how I found out.
Yeah.
I was using the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
I was using the bathroom, and one of my friends, Peyton Price, wrestler down in Illinois,
Uh-huh.
shot me a text and was like, "Man, it's always great to see people that we know on the list."
Uh-huh.
I had seen like a couple people post their numbers earlier, so I was like, "Yeah, man, it's awesome that all these guys that we work on shows, made the list this year. That's great."
Yeah.
And then he was just like, "Congratulations."
Wow.
What? He's like, yeah. And then he, shot me the screenshot of the page. That was like the one page I hadn't seen that morning.
Oh, wow.
And I find my name on there. So that's how I found out.
Did you have any idea, idea that they were even like making the list at the time?
It's coming out.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those things. Of course, I've read the PWI growing up, but
yeah, totally.
It's one of the, I'm 3 years in the business. I'm a wrestler from Wisconsin. Wisconsin doesn't, usually get that much love and attention in the wider indie world. So it was, I had no inclination that it was happening.
I was telling my son, about, 500. I said, that's a fraction of the amount of wrestlers there are in the world. Like a fraction of a fraction. Yeah. I said, so it's like a really big deal. Did you buy like 50 copies of the magazine?
The print copy isn't out yet, sadly.
Okay.
So I
got it. I got it with my subscription.
Oh, you got it with your subscription?
Oh,
so maybe they send them to the people who subscribe earlier.
Yeah, it's like
no newsstands I could
find. It's in December. It's December. I'm like, okay.
So I bought the online one. To read through it, but it was crazy morning.
Does your girlfriend does that impress her even a little bit?
No, she doesn't care.
It's a big deal. All right.
It's more, why weren't you number one?
Totally.
Yeah.
You're not better than him. You're not better than her.
No, she's happy for me, but
it's something that you enjoy internally.
Yeah. It's more of a because, like I said, I never saw it coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's 465. I could definitely think of 36 wrestlers better than me. Totally. No problem.
And you can look like the wrestlers behind you, and they're big names.
Yep. But that's the thing. I don't. Yeah. So I told it happened. I told her. Told some of my friends back home. They're not huge wrestling fans, but they understand. For the most part, they watched it casually when we were younger. So they were like, "Oh, well, you're on the list with Roman Reigns and Kenny Omega." It's like, I'm surprised you know who Kenny Omega is.
Yeah,
yes,
totally. That's hilarious. All right, Doc, I'm going to let you go in a few minutes.
No problem, brother.
Can I ask you 5 non-wrestling related yes or no questions?
Of course.
Okay. First one being, have you ever eaten an onion like an apple?
No. Okay. Hate raw onions. Hate raw.
Oh, okay, good to know. Can you start a fire without matches or a lighter? And if so, were you in Deerfield, Illinois on December 19th, 1994?
No and no.
Okay. For $1.9 million, would you tell people, and this would have to be convincingly, that you now worship Satan, but you can do it for just 2 years, and then you can tell everyone?
1.9? Yeah, no problem.
Awesome.
It's funny that you bring that up. I am one of the, I guess the weird passions I have is I'm very big into theology.
Oh, okay.
Religious wise, I'm interested in all religions.
Oh, okay.
So I don't believe in Satanism, but it is something that I would be interested in learning about. Like, I want to know why you think this way. So, like, for me, it would be no problem.
I appreciate the honesty. Is there a circumstance, any circumstance, where you would pretend that you were deaf?
Where I would pretend that I'm dead or deaf?
Deaf.
I am older, so I don't think I have to pretend. So yeah.
Okay. Oh, great. And finally, are you a fan of sauerkraut?
Ugh. Sometimes.
Okay. Have you eaten more bratwurst since moving to Wisconsin than you did when you were on the East Coast?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Do you ever go to the student union, like out back?
I have not been in a while. When they would when we first moved here, especially like not last year with the pandemic going on.
Yeah, sure.
There would be like a lot of concerts, and then my friend that I moved out here with started a band, so there would be concerts there. So we would go there a good amount.
Does it make you feel? I think I haven't been in a couple years, but I think it would make me feel old.
Yeah. Driving around town. I mean, it's. I'm sure no matter how old you are, the kids always look younger than the year before.
I'm like, oh, and this was my. Like I go there, I'm like, oh, that crap of girls was my age. That's what I was going for. All right, Doc, where are we going to see you next?
So this weekend I will be at Zawa Live on Saturday, at the Northside Barbecue, I believe it is.
Okay.
Should be a banger of a show. Sunday I will be up in Kimberly, Wisconsin for ACW. They've got 2 shows going on this weekend, one on Friday, one on Sunday. I'll be there at the Sunday show in Kimberly, so come check it out.
Last question. Is it stressful booking yourself?
Yes, very.
Okay.
And it is even more stressful with a tag partner because we are both looking for bookings and we'll double book ourselves.
Oh, God, at the same time. That's right.
Yep. So it is very stressful.
Oh, my God. I can't imagine. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on. It was really fun talking to you. And
thanks for having me.
Oh, my gosh. Anytime you have anything to say, you're always welcome.
Anytime you want to bring me on.
All right. We may have to do that. All right. You take care and stay safe, and we'll definitely talk again.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care. Bye.